Coach Hendricks, thank you so much for your time. I'm really looking forward to talking to you and kind of learning your approach to things and a little bit about what you do and how you do it. For the listeners at home, will you tell us a little bit about your background, your motivation, and kind of where you are currently?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to go through this interview. So my background is it was a little bit by accident.
Okay.
I was 19 and I had just failed out of college, and my mom was willing to pay for this personal training program.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, fitness was not my passion. I didn't really want to help people. I just hated my own body.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I got introduced to Mike Robertson.
Okay.
Went to one of his seminars, and everything changed from there. That was my first introduction to the fitness industry, was Mike Robertson, the people at iFast.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the way I was raised, of always looking for solutions to answers to problems and looking for solutions, I think Mike gave me a perspective that was presenting a problem, which was people's movement and people's fitness. And he was providing a really cool solution with breathing and getting to the root cause of people's movement problems.
Yeah.
That was an approach that I'd never heard before.
Okay.
And that really resonated with me because of the way my mom raised me. And that was it. That's after school. That's when my learning really got started. And I bought all of their products. I went to all their seminars. I found a workplace that aligned with a lot of the things that he was doing. So I got to practice on big group classes and semi-private setting. And now I own a gym called Enhancing Life with my business partner, Dave Wilton. We have an employee, Saban, and we try to take a multifactorial approach to health with all of our clients.
I love it. Okay. Will you talk a little bit about, kind of the location that you serve, some of the seminars and things that you speak about?
Yeah. So I'm in Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay.
And we are located inside of a school. So funny enough, the school that I attended when I was 19, I am now the main instructor of that program, and we have the students involved with our business.
Okay. Full circle, huh?
Yeah. Funny how things turn around.
Yeah.
And so our gym is inside that school, and the students are involved with the gym, and the gym is involved with the school. So everybody who is at the gym are also instructors.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My biggest thing in the industry is breathing, and it has been for the last 6 years.
Okay.
And it came almost out of people asked for it. I would introduce it to seminars because I would help my employer with his workshops, and people really liked the breathing component to it.
Okay.
So I was kind of motivated by people's satisfaction to it.
Yeah.
So the big thing I do in the industry is teach people about breathing and position and being detailed as a coach. And now I'm kind of transitioning into also talking about pain and in the industry, in the fitness industry.
Okay. That's awesome. Will you kind of, you have a different approach to this, I feel like. So will you define what health is and kind of what that means to you?
Yeah. Health, my approach to health has kind of changed a little bit over the last year.
Okay.
Especially learning more about pain.
Yeah.
So in the past, I really paid attention just because of the way I was raised, of always looking for the root cause, always looking for the solution. My approach to health was always look for the root cause. Don't mask the symptoms with just a quick fix.
Yeah.
You want to look for the cause. But that also insinuates that there is one cause. There's one solution.
Yeah.
And then we get locked into that one thing. And learning more about pain and getting some different resources about health. Now it's kind of changing, and our business model is kind of changing. We're going through a transition right now.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily get into the root cause. It's more treating the body as a whole.
Yeah.
Being really good at basic things.
Okay.
And it's not sexy, so it's not easy to sell.
Yeah.
But just really giving the body basic needs, giving it sleep, giving it sunlight, nature, real food, confidence in their body, like changing people's beliefs about themselves, increasing fitness, increasing movement options, movement variability, human connection. And like if we do all those things, then health will happen. And we're changing our welcome packet right now. We're scheduling some workshops around this.
Okay.
Because it's hard to sell. It's hard to get people to work on their sleep or go out in nature just because mainstream media is do more, eat less.
Yeah.
Grow your body.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I think the nature one is big too, because we live in a time where people are indoors working all the time, and then a lot of our offices don't even have windows, especially in the fitness industry. And so getting outside in nature, I think that's a really big, important point.
Yeah, it is. And we're even scheduling some hikes with our clients.
Yeah.
So we're really trying to create this model. It's of coaches can be really good at the basics.
Yeah.
And if you can get really good at the basics, I feel like we would be a pain doctor, a physical therapist, functional medicine practitioner, dietitians, like dream come true.
Yeah.
It's like knowing that there's a coach out there that is going to help my client who's in pain, or my client who's obese, or my client who's depressed, or my client who has an eating disorder. Like, it doesn't matter what problem you may have. There are coaches out there that are good at the basics.
Yeah.
So we're trying to really create this model, make it work, implement it in the school, and then eventually create coaches that do this model. And they'll go out into the world and,
I like
make the fitness industry a better place instead of just coaches being coaches.
Exactly.
I think coaches can do more than that.
Yeah. And then kind of on that same point, right? So there's so many health is multifactorial, right? So do you find it difficult with your clients addressing so many different areas and not being able to focus on one specifically, or how does that look for you?
I do, actually. And that's where trying to find other people who have different skill sets and providing different services. And that is the goal. Like right now I'm talking to someone who's really into health coaching, motivational interviewing. So eventually creating different services so it doesn't feel like we're trying to fit it all in just in training. Trying to get life coaching, trying to get this. The thing that we've done that's worked is doing one thing at a time. So in the beginning of this year, we had a sleep challenge. And that went really well. I wish I would have collected more data, but I wasn't confident in the results we were going to get. So we made, and because I believed in it, I just didn't think people were going to get amazing results. So I didn't want to disappoint myself, and I didn't want to disappoint clients. So I didn't make the challenge focus on an outcome or a certain result. It was just doing the challenge. We came up with a checklist. And we went up to our clients who were our veteran clients who've been there for 5 years, 3 years. We almost imposed it on them. You got to do this challenge. You got to talk about it on Facebook. You have to get people to follow you. So we imposed our will on some of our clients to get other people involved. And we had almost half the gym go through the challenge.
Wow.
And it was amazing. People were wearing blue blocking glasses. They were getting sun in the morning. They were eating higher vegetable protein breakfast versus cereal and toast. They were getting sunlight, and clients slowly started saying they were able to push themselves harder at the gym. So therefore, now they were able to get more results. Other clients talked about just it's easier to get up in the morning. And that might not seem like a big deal, but if you're having an easier time getting up in the morning, you're getting more restorative sleep. That's probably huge in the long run. So after a month of doing everything, a lot of people got some great results.
That's awesome. And kind of, I'll go ahead. Sorry.
And then we gave away an Aura ring. So the winner, we were going to make a raffle, and at the end, you got a $300 ring. So that's another way we got people to
everyone jumps on a prize, right? I like that. So kind of pulling on that thread. So you address a lot of stuff with the general population, right? So another thing on that sunlight topic is for, let's say, strength coaches, because a lot of us get up early before the sun's up, and then we leave before or after the sun sets. So what is your recommendation for kind of some professionals in that sense?
There's ways to kind of biohack that if you can't change your schedule. And that's what we had with our clients as well, is we didn't want to change their schedule. Just like professionals, we're busy. And there's ways to go around it by getting something like a happy light. And it's a $30, I mean, it can be anything up to $100, but $30 to $100 light that you can use when you're making breakfast or sitting on the computer, so you can still get that light exposure.
Okay.
Obviously the sun is a lot better, but just ways around it. There are therapy glasses that can range anywhere between $100 to $200, and we try to push those to our professionals that don't have time to sit by a happy light. Yeah. And those can just go over your glasses. Okay. And that way you can make breakfast and move around and do things while you have them on. Okay. And at night, you can turn off all your overhead lights. I sometimes still have to use my computer at night. So I have blue blocking glasses that block the blue light. And I also have a filter on my computer that turns my screen red. Okay. So there's ways around it, and I'll still watch TV. And I'll just watch it to the point where I can't really tell who's who's on the TV because it's so dark. Okay. Anything to mitigate the effects of light when I can't really change my schedule.
Okay. And what exactly is a happy light, if you don't mind me asking?
A happy light is a full spectrum light that mimics the light that we would get with sunlight.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that was out there.
So we have many hormones that are supposed to be released throughout the day. Yeah. But our biggest hormones that we rely on to keep our biological clock in check is cortisol and melatonin. And you want to think, everything is on this 24-hour clock, even animals, plants, and we are on this 24-hour clock, and we really rely on light or the lack of light to kind of give us an idea of when these hormones need to be released. Yeah. Okay. And if we're not getting the light, we're not getting that stimulus of, hey, it's morning out, we should start producing some cortisol. Yeah. Or we should start producing some testosterone, or all the morning hormones that should be coming with. And then same thing at night, if we are exposed to bright phones, bright screens, bright TVs, overhead lights, our body doesn't know, hey, it's night out. We should start slowing down. We should start producing all our night hormones, melatonin, so we can get restorative sleep. So light is a huge deal when it comes to keeping this clock in check. And there's other things like eating food as well. Yeah. Like eating in the morning is very important. Eating a big meal at night or late at night, you're telling your body it's still light out, so we shouldn't produce those night hormones. So there's a lot of things that can influence this clock, but light is one of the big things that we try to push people, because it's easy. Yeah. It's hard first, but to be honest, it's not. Once you have everything in place, all you have to do is turn on the happy light or put on the glasses, or turn off the overhead lights and turn on your red lights.
Interesting. Okay.
So when it comes down to it, it's not that big of a change. It's just changing the environment. It takes 2 seconds to put everything on and off.
Interesting. Okay. So even more on that topic, right? So you touched on cortisol. So will you talk a little bit about, I feel like cortisol is one of the hormones that can get really out of check really quickly with our day-to-day stress and things like that. Will you touch on that a little bit?
Not a cortisol expert.
Okay.
But it's known as our stress hormone. Yeah. And people talk about, if you have belly, that you can't lose body fat, it's like your cortisol belly. Cortisol is very useful for our body. The only thing is it's bad when it's on overdrive. It's bad when it's not being released when it should be released. Like you shouldn't be really releasing cortisol at night. Cortisol should be released in the morning. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's probably as comfortable as I am talking about that.
Fair enough. Okay. And then moving forward a little bit, right? So I feel like I'm really interested in people's backgrounds and kind of how that shapes what they do now. And so with you, it seems that you had a little bit of an unorthodox upbringing. So how does that change how you approach the day-to-day in your household and things like that?
I was raised with a mom that had a son. So my younger brother had a learning disability. Okay. And we lived in Guatemala. So Guatemala is a third world country. So medicine and viewpoints are probably about 5 years behind. And she was told that he needed to be put on medication. And she was just convinced that that wasn't the solution. Yeah. And she started getting into gut health. And gut health is very important when it comes to mental health or just your well-being in general. And that's where I got my whole thought process of getting to the root cause.
Okay.
My mom was also in a lot of pain,
Mm.
and she went to chiropractors, massage therapists,
Mm-hmm.
and I was also introduced to the idea that just because you have pain in your shoulder
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it's a shoulder problem.
Yeah.
It can be somewhere else in the body. And we went to different practitioners, functional medicine doctors,
Mm-hmm.
some crazy people, some muscle testing,
Yeah.
and all these machines. So out of all the crazy, there was a lot of good people there
Okay.
that taught me that you really need to treat the body as a whole, that there's always a reason behind whatever problem you may be having, whether it's stomach pain or a mental health problem or physical pain. And that you always need to start digging deeper and asking yourself why, and always being skeptical. And I think I didn't believe my mom at first, but then once I got into the fitness industry and found people that really aligned with her viewpoints, all those things started coming back.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's kind of how I live my own life, always asking myself why. If I'm bloated, I don't think I'm just bloated because of nothing. I wonder why. What did I eat? Am I stressed out? Did I not sleep?
Okay. So with that, right, so gut health is super important. Have you found any linkage or any recommendations between like gut health and like skin conditions? Like say, so common skin conditions that you might see clients, maybe like acne or dandruff or things like that?
Yeah, that was Chris Kresser, functional medicine practitioner, has some really good articles on the gut-skin connection.
Okay.
And very similar to what I talked about, the basics. It's like any issue that you may be having. It's like we have to get back to the basics. Yes, it could be a gut issue, but maybe if you worked a little bit on sleep and started eating more, started getting real food in your diet, your skin issues would go away. So it's really getting away from like, well, what's causing the skin issue? What's causing the gut inflammation? And it's more, let's just treat the body as a whole, especially as coaches. Stay within your scope that way, because as a coach, I can't say the reason you have acne is because you have leaky gut. But what I can do is, hey, follow our 6 pillars and let's just see what happens.
A lot of things might clear up that way, huh?
But there is a lot of information on skin health and gut health, and I would go towards Chris Kresser's information.
Okay. And
his articles.
I think it's another interesting thing you say, real food. That's so funny to me because with the athletes, right, they're always eating like something processed, like cereal or like, some kind of bar, which is, I guess, better than nothing. But at the same time, like real food, that's going to be the best for you. That's super interesting to hear affirmed, I guess.
And it's honestly our least of our priorities right now. Because if someone is not sleeping, are they going to want to eat real food?
That's true.
Are they going to want to get up a little earlier and make a better breakfast or make better choices? So we're trying to get our priority on sleep and, of course, fitness, because if not, we would be out of a job. So increasing strength, increasing fitness and aerobic base and sleep. And once you start getting better sleep and once you start feeling better in your body, maybe eating real food will become an easier choice.
It's so simple when you talk about it. It's, so. What's your approach kind of with working with clients with pain, right? So how does that look, the assessment and the training, and how does all that look?
Good question. So pain is a very voodoo word in the industry. And pain is very misunderstood by a lot of people in the fitness industry.
Okay.
And the blanket statement has always been, if someone presents with pain in your assessment or on the training floor or just in general, you should refer out.
Okay.
Now, that was really fed into me for years. And it was pushed by the FMS. I was really into the FMS at one point, and FMS is not even considered an assessment. It's considered a screen. And if someone has pain, you refer out. And it wasn't until last year or a year and a half ago where I started talking to Zach Couples, and he started doing some mentoring with me and doing some consults with my client. He really changed my approach to seeing pain. Because for 5 years, I've been working with people in pain, but I thought I was doing something wrong. But the problem was they were already referred out.
Yeah.
The solution that the fitness industry was giving me wasn't working.
Yeah.
They were already referred out. Bad things had been ruled out. So I had no other option but to let them go, and they're going to go to CrossFit or do nothing or just go on their own, or let them train with me and give them a safe environment. And I train them just like the regular general population. I just progressed these people a little slower. But it wasn't until Zach that I really brought in my approach to that and realized that personal trainers can work with people in pain. And if we understood pain a little better, I think anyone who works with people in the general population can work with these people. Pain can be split into different categories. You know, you got the acute pain. Someone falls, they have trauma, they hear a loud pop, there's bruising. Yes, refer out. That's a situation where, yes, they have pain, refer them out. But then we have people in persistent pain, and those are the people I work with. And I'll tell you a little bit about my approach. So persistent pain means the bad things have been ruled out, because usually someone in persistent pain has gone somewhere, has seen a medical professional, or currently is seeing a clinician. That means the pain has persisted for longer than 3 months. So it could be 3 months, 5 years, 10 years. And with these people, we have to stop seeing pain as a marker of injury or damage or dysfunction. And we have to see pain more as something that is happening to their body because of the way they perceive the world as a whole. Their body is always on high alert. And the way we experience pain, our system in our body is very similar to a smoke detector. And sometimes a smoke detector goes off when it's appropriate. And that's someone who's not in persistent pain, like you fall and hurt your shoulder. And now there's an injury, now you have pain. Or you step on glass, now there's pain. People in persistent pain, their smoke detector goes off every time you're making eggs. It's sensitive, and it's producing pain when it's not appropriate. Or it's producing pain when the tissue has already healed. Maybe they did have an injury, but it's been 3 months, tissue has healed, and it's now 10 years, and they're still having pain. These people, and this is what I learned with Zach, these people need the same thing that someone who's obese or someone who wants to gain strength. They need sleep. They need human connection. They need real food. They need movement. They need strength. They need an aerobic base. And they don't just need their pain fixed. Like if they have a herniated disc that they were diagnosed with 10 years ago, that doesn't matter to me. I can do so many other things when it comes to helping this person that could also help with decreasing their pain. Decreasing someone's pain is not just focusing on whatever structural diagnosis they may have. They have a herniated disc, bulging disc, or anything that they were diagnosed with. I take the attention away from that, and that's how I introduce it with a client in pain. What happens is I get the reputation of, oh, Lucy helped me with my back pain that I've had for 10 years. And I get a referral saying, oh, you helped my friend with back pain. I want you to help me with my back pain. So I wanted to take the attention away from their degenerative disc and put it more towards everything else that I can do. And something with pain is people don't feel safe in their body. So that's what I'm good at. So what I tell these people, my approach with these people is, here at Enhancing Life, we're really good at finding positions that won't bother you. And that's where the breathing comes in. So I'm not saying I'm good at treating their pain. I'm good at finding positions that don't bother them.
And you stay in your scope that way too, right? You can stay in your scope that way as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we're also really good at addressing all these other things that could be influencing your pain. And sometimes I'll write a little Venn diagram. Sometimes these people have good days. They have days where they don't have pain. So I'll make a little Venn diagram. In the middle is their structural diagnosis. Let's say their bone on bone, their knee. And then I ask them if they have good days and bad days. And usually it's yes. Well, what are you doing on your good days that you're not doing on your bad days? Because your bone on bone stays the same.
Yeah, yeah.
So what can we do more of? And that's where I give them a little bit of hope, because they see, oh, I don't work on my sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I've been drinking because it's been the holidays, so my diet has been very inflammatory. Or I don't have an aerobic base. I can't even sit on this bike for 5 minutes. So I give them a little bit of hope, but then I also give them a little bit of ownership within their pain or about their pain. And I show them all the things that they can improve on.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we go through an assessment, and the assessment is the same as someone who's just in the general population. We check range of motion. We do a breathing intervention. We try to find positions that don't hurt them. And then we recheck the range of motion. And for people in pain, that's huge with buy-in. Yeah. Because if I get an increase in range of motion, which is very meaningful for them, they now see the breathing intervention as something positive. Yeah. And that's huge, because perception is everything. Yeah. They see that as a dangerous thing. So now they're less likely to flare up.
Okay. That makes sense. And then kind of moving forward with that, right, to take a brief detour, do you have clients, and this is kind of one of the things that I've seen recently, that with exercise they might feel like numbness or tingling in their limbs, but only during certain movements. Have you had experience with that, or do you have any suggestions with that?
I've had a couple people who've felt numbness, or not numbness, they felt tingling. Okay. And some upper body lifts. And by tweaking the form or just changing the variation, it completely went away. Wow, okay. In that case, I didn't do anything about it, because they never brought it up again, and it never bothered them again. And then I had another case where a guy did have numbness and tingling and shooting pain down his arm. That case, go get it checked out. Yeah. The problem is when they don't go get it checked out. Yeah, yeah. So there, what do you do? Exactly. So what I did with him, until he went and got it checked out, I worked around it. Okay. So sometimes referring out, you can't do anything if the person doesn't want to be referred out, or doesn't want to go get it checked out. Yeah. And I had another situation with knee pain. If it doesn't get better after the session, I'm like, oh, you know what? My knee actually feels better. Yeah. I don't think it's warranted to refer out, especially if it feels better and it's okay after a few weeks. Okay. But if I can't work around it, and if it doesn't feel better, I asked the client to go get it checked out. And I had one client a couple of years ago who did not go. Yeah. And then slowly he just stopped coming. And recently I heard that his knee still hurts, and he still hasn't gone anywhere.
People are stubborn. People are stubborn that way.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. But yes, numbness and tingling, that's when I would go and ask them to go get it checked out, just to be safe. Yeah, most definitely. Okay. And then you talked a little bit about breathing, right? But let's dive into that a little bit more. And how do you kind of teach people how to breathe correctly, and then implement that within a session, within your positioning, within your movements? It's the base of a lot of the things that we do. Yeah. We use breathing for a couple different reasons. So one, we use breathing to increase movement options. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is where it's hard. Okay. It's hard to describe breathing when someone can't see you. Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can do this. So you want to see your body. Your body doesn't have empty space. Okay. So it doesn't have empty cavities. Your body is filled up with stuff. It's filled up with air. It's filled up with fluid. It's filled up with your organs. It's filled up with everything. There is no empty space. So in order for you to be able to move, you got to be able to manage everything inside of your body. Yeah. Everything. For example, if you want to do a big back bend, like standing on your feet, and you reach your arms overhead and you bend back, everything inside of your body needs to be able to move forward. Your chest needs to come forward, your rib cage needs to come forward, air needs to come forward, your guts need to come forward. So in order for you to be able to move a certain way, things need to move in order for you to achieve that. Yeah. And then the opposite happens if you want to bend over and round over and touch your toes. You got to be able to move everything back, fluid back, air back, rib cage back, like bones back, guts back. So you need to be able to push everything back. So we use breathing to help manage the insides. If you can't push things back, you are going to struggle doing certain movements.
Yeah.
If you can't expand in your posterior thorax and protract your shoulder blades, you are going to struggle reaching the top position of the push-up where you're supposed to push your shoulders forward. Or the opposite. If you can't get air in the front of your chest and you can't bring everything forward, you're going to struggle bringing your shoulder blades back, doing a really good row.
Yeah.
And we use breathing to help increase movement options by freeing up places where people can't breathe into and places where people can't breathe out of.
Gotcha.
So we use breathing to increase movement options. We also use breathing to increase consistency within our approach.
Okay.
And that is huge for someone in persistent pain. We talked about the whole smoke detector and these people are always scared.
Yeah.
If I took someone in pain who's been in pain for 10 years and they're scared, and I walk them through a perfect goblet squat because I'm a really good coach and I coach them through a really beautiful goblet squat. Even if they felt all the right things, glutes, hamstrings, abs, because it's unfamiliar, they are going to be scared and not know if it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
And when people in persistent pain are scared, they're more likely to have a flare-up. So even though they might have done nothing wrong, their body is now threatened. And when your body is threatened, its best protective mechanism is pain.
Yeah.
Therefore, now they're more likely to flare up. So with breathing, we like to bring that consistency throughout our training, and that's how we're able to progress someone.
Okay.
So if someone comes in day one, we take them through the simple 90-90 that most people know, and we make that safe. Hey, do you feel your abs? Do you feel your hamstrings? Do you feel your glutes? And then we put them in quadruped. And it's the same cues. Do you feel your tuck? Do you feel your hamstrings? Do you feel your glutes? The exhaling, same thing. And then we slowly progress them into like an assisted squat, and we use breathing to keep that consistency.
Okay.
It's like cues are the same, the feelings are the same.
Yeah.
So that is how we're able to progress people because it all stays the same.
Okay. Do you ever have situations where breathing interventions don't necessarily work as easy as you might want them to, and how do you kind of adapt to that?
Yes. One, if the client is a fat loss client, and now we have constraints that I can't take away in a day, body fat, ribcage structure, they won't be able to find those positions. They won't be able to feel those muscles. So for those people, depending on the person, we kind of stay away from breathing.
Okay.
And we work more towards fat loss. Like maybe they push the sled, they slam the balls. We work more on that approach. Okay. So that's when it hasn't worked well. Another time it hasn't worked well is when the client can't take cues well. And they can't seem to take one cue and keep that cue and then build up on the other one. So they can't take instructions. And then if they can't take instructions, they can't execute the exercise correctly. Then we don't get the results. Now they don't see why that was even a thing that we did. So we have these little cues of like if the client is looking up over their head, if they're feeling frustrated and say things like, I don't even know what you want me to feel, or I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing. That's our cue to abort the breathing and go more towards just general movement.
Okay.
Let's do bear crawls. Let's do some single arm carries. Anything. And that works well with the general pop.
Okay.
But then you have someone in pain who can't do sled pushing or crawling because they're very deep position. So when that happens with someone in pain, we just work on a couple things. Like maybe just work on the exhaling. Then we go more towards the aerobic side of things. Someone in pain really needs a good aerobic base. So let's work up to get you on this bike for 45 minutes because usually they can only handle 5 minutes. Now our goal is less movement and training, and it's more aerobic base.
Okay.
And slowly progress them from there.
Okay, so just some simple like check boxes. So hit this, move to the next stage kind of deal. Okay.
Yes.
I like that.
And the other time it wouldn't work. I'm very fortunate that I don't deal with these people just because we only get people by referrals. Or people who are not bought in.
Okay. There's always those people, right?
People are not bought in.
Okay.
But most people who don't seem to get people to buy in, I think, have an execution problem.
Yeah.
Because if you execute these exercises correctly, you produce a result.
Yeah.
And if you produce a result, it doesn't matter how weird the breathing is,
Yeah.
people will be bought in.
Exactly.
But if someone doesn't want anything to do with the breathing,
yeah.
that's where you use your words to kind of help buy in.
Yeah.
And in order for you to be able to use your words effectively, you have to know what the client wants, what their goals are, what their fears are. And that's where your 90-90 is no longer anything about breathing. It's to get you abs and to get you extra motion so you can hit certain depth in your squat.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you make it meaningful for them with your words.
Yeah.
And see if you can get them to buy in then. And if you still can't get someone to buy in, that's where you just pepper it in sometimes.
Yeah.
No, it's an exercise.
Okay. I like that. I mean, breaking it down and kind of meeting people where they are, right? That's really what it's about. So I like that approach, and I like that implementation. It's simple to follow, and like you said, I mean, it works. So I like that. Okay. And then moving into a little bit more about you specifically and kind of your development, right? So what are some resources that have had a big impact on you, whether it's a book, a podcast, or a conversation with somebody?
I would say the first one would be Dr. Terry Walls.
Okay.
She is the author of the Walls Protocol. So she is a functional medicine practitioner, is an MD who developed multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
And she was the first person that showed me, other than my mom, but the first person that showed me this whole wheel of health is more than just diet.
Yeah.
It has to be exercise, stress management, connection.
Yeah.
Basically treating the body as a whole. And she was my first introduction to that in the fitness industry.
Okay.
That connected everything to my childhood. Like, wow, everything makes sense now.
Yeah, yeah.
Terry Walls would be the first one. And then Ben House, he's a functional medicine practitioner in Costa Rica, and he has retreats.
Yeah.
I would suggest his retreats and his pre-course material. I took his retreat, or I went to his first retreat 2 years ago.
Okay.
And that was the first time that I realized that the basics were very appreciated in the industry.
Yeah.
Him and a different functional medicine practitioner talked about they don't even want to see people if they're not working on their sleep, they're not eating their vegetables. Like there's no reason for you to do all this blood work and all these supplements if you're not doing the basic things.
Yeah.
So that was the first seed that I got of, people are not good at the basics.
Yeah.
Me as a coach can help people.
Yeah.
With the basics, and then refer people to someone like Ben House or another functional medicine practitioner.
Okay.
So from a health standpoint, those would be my big two.
Yeah.
And then from training, Bill Hartman, Zach Couples, PRI.
Yeah.
I started out, PRI was my first introduction to, wow, there's more to it when it comes to breathing and posture and movement.
Yeah.
There's a deeper thing underneath, but Bill Hartman and Zach Couples really have been my biggest influences.
Okay.
In the industry when it comes to training.
I like that. A lot of good names out there. A lot of good names. So, and then moving forward to this last segment here, just a few questions, kind of rapid fire. And so the first one being, if you have any, what are some quotes that you live by?
I actually don't have. I'm not a quote person, but I do have value. Two of my main values that I go by, my core values.
Yeah.
And that would be progressive, would be one of them. I don't mind leaving things behind.
Yeah.
I like to implement new information as it comes to me, and that's how I live my life. I adapt to new information very easily, and that's how I run my business as well.
Yeah.
And I want my clients to be progressive, and I want my staff to be progressive. So everybody around me, I want them to be progressive because I always want to be moving forward.
I like that. Okay.
And my other one would be authentic.
Okay. I like that. Those are two big important points.
Showing up as my true self.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's a lot of people who are scared to be authentic or scared to be who they really are.
Yeah.
And I am very transparent with who I am
and
what I know and what I don't know.
Yeah. We need more of that in day-to-day life. I like that. Okay. And then the next question is, what is the best advice you've ever been given?
It would be swim against the stream.
Okay.
it was when I was 19 and I met Mike Robertson.
Yeah.
I got really excited with his approach, and at first I thought I wanted to work with kids, which that did not end up happening. But I got the certification, the IYCA certification that had Lee Taff and Mike Robertson and Bill Hartman. And I came up with this whole approach. I basically copied their approach to work with athletes.
Okay.
And the person that I worked with at the time told me it was not good.
Yeah.
People don't care about all these things, Lucy. People care about burning calories.
Yeah.
And at the time, the CEO of IYCA, his name's Brian Grosso.
Yeah.
I can't thank him enough because he took the time to call me, and I was crying. He's like, Lucy, when I came up with the IYCA, people laughed at me.
Yeah.
Look at it now. It's a big certification.
Yeah.
It puts on awesome seminars, and people laughed at me at the time. So don't be afraid to swim against the stream. And ever since then, I am not afraid to go against what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
I'm very driven by people's satisfaction versus other people's opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Client satisfaction, I should say.
Yeah. So in contrast to that, what's the worst advice you've ever been given?
That people come to you for strength and conditioning and not breathing, and it will never get you anywhere. Because I now teach seminars on it. I help people with seminars on it, and I have a whole gym where clients appreciate the shit out of it. Even not just my pain clients, but the people who expect to get a deadlift PR and want to deadlift 300 pounds are the same people that are sitting there with their eyes closed doing their breathing exercise in the beginning. People do care. People care about function. People care about learning about their bodies. And I repeatedly was told that no one would ever care, but turns out they do.
Yeah, I like that. What is one of the biggest struggles that you've had to overcome that has made a big difference in your life now?
I would say, as a coach, my biggest struggle was losing everything. Because as coaches, our job is very rewarding.
Yeah.
And I think, and it can be amazing, and we can all get very passionate about it and love our job and wake up every morning and be happy with what you do. And I think that's a very rewarding job, and we're really lucky to be able to go into a field like this that can be so rewarding. But with that, you can also forget everything else. Yeah. And lose your life outside of work. And I did that. And I did that for 5 years. I was very young at the time, so it was almost, the gym was my family. Yeah. I saw these people more than I saw my best friends. I saw them more than my family. And I made my life my job. And I had nothing else. I had no friends. I had no connections outside of my work. Yeah. And it was amazing when it was there, but then it got taken away from me overnight. So I lost everything. Yeah. And it's been a struggle over the last 2.5 years. And I'm better for it because I now do reach out to other friends, and I try to have connections outside of work and have a life outside of work and really taking care of myself. If that's taken away from you, then you have nothing. And I think as coaches, it's really easy to do that because we love our job so much. Yeah.
No, I agree. And that's a big point for a lot of coaches. I mean, especially across the college realm, just being in the office 24/7 pretty much, and just your job, that's your life. So I think that's a really big important point. And then kind of the last question here. So what are some projects that you're kind of currently working on, and how can people reach out to you and follow your journey?
Right now I am working on creating our model at Enhancing Life. Okay. A model that takes this multi-model approach and looks at all the factors of life and getting other people with different skill sets and really working on that. Yeah. Because I have to make sure it works before I teach it. Yeah, yeah. I'm also working on refining the 10-month program at the school. Okay. And really teaching our model and really, again, making sure they're learning a multi-model approach. And we have a really good team right now, and I'm really excited. Dave, my business partner, Sabin, our employee, Levi, who's my coworker, we're working really hard on changing the curriculum and updating it and making really, I can see it as the place to come to become a coach. Okay. because you're learning so many different factors. You're learning how to train yourself. You're basically learning how to walk the walk.
Yeah. I like that.
For 10 months. And I'm also helping Zach with a lot of his human matrix seminars.
Okay.
Trying to get as much practice as I can being a coach's coach.
Yeah.
Helping trainers become better coaches.
Okay.
And I'm also working on my 10-hour in-service for businesses, where I come into your gym and I spend 10 hours taking you through the basics, taking you through all the lifting, showing you what a group class can, how a group class can run by doing breathing exercises, experiencing my manual and verbal cues, and really going through it yourself.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, they go to seminars, and one, you're lucky enough if you get to be the demo. Usually you're just seeing the person go through the exercise like, wow, that looks so easy. Can't wait to do it on Monday. And then you go home on Monday, and then you try to get your client who doesn't take cues well to do it. Okay, that wasn't as easy as I thought. So getting the clients to experience everything themselves, so that way they know what the client needs to experience.
I like that. Okay. And how can people kind of reach out to you and follow your journey?
I am very active on social media. So my Facebook, Instagram, and then I have a blog, and it's called the holisticfitnessconnector.com.
Okay.
I might be changing the name of it just because I can never spell it correctly. It's really long.
Yeah.
But that's where I put a lot of my content out, and then I also send out a lot of emails to my newsletter subscribers. And if you go to my blog, you can subscribe to my newsletter there.
Okay. And what is that handle on Instagram?
Oh, it's Lucy_Hendricks.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. This has been great. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy hearing about what professionals are doing, and especially progressive professionals. So I really appreciate your time, and hopefully we can connect again soon in the future.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. This was great.